Deputies in North Florida are dead after they were ambushed at a restaurant this afternoon. Thanks for joining us for First Coast News at 11. I'm Anthony Austin.
And I'm Jessica Clark. That scene unfolded nearly 100 miles from Jacksonville in the small town of Trenton in Gilchrist County. That's just 45 minutes west of Gainesville.
And those deputies were in the Ace China restaurant when a gunman walked up and shot them both through the window. Other deputies who responded to the scene found that gunman dead outside the restaurant. And tonight we've learned the names and we've seen the faces of those two men who were shot in Trenton.
On the left is Sergeant Noel Ramirez, age 29, a married father of 2 children. And on the right, Deputy Taylor Lindsay, 25 years old, with the sheriff's office for 3 years. And now, for the first time, we've learned the identity of the gunman, a 59-year-old man named John Hubert Highnote from Bell, a small town just north of Trenton.
Deputies responding to the scene shot Highnote dead, and we have live team coverage tonight, live coverage from Trenton, and First Coast News' Nick Perot joins us just a few steps away from the scene of that ambush.
Yes, Anthony, Jessica, good evening. We can tell you really in terms of those details, still very scarce except for the fact that John Hubert Highnote is believed to be the shooter. We can tell you, though, according to deputies, they believe that he came in on the right side of your screen, just past the open sign, and the 2 deputies were sitting on the other side of that last pillar. That's where he shot and killed both deputies. Now, I talked with Sheriff Bobby Schultz. He told me every deputy knows the risk when they put on the badge and holster a gun, but not even his 26 years of experience could prepare him for this.
We're going to grieve. We're going to get upset. We're probably going to cuss a little bit. But at the end of the day, we're going to remember those 2 men for what they are. And they're heroes.
Young heroes at that. Taylor Lindsay, just 25 years old, and Noel Ramirez, 30.
They were going to get into the first responder Olympics doing bench press because they was into all that.
And even ready to bring the sheriff on board.
We was fixing to start a new team at the Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office, and no one in my office knew that. But Taylor Lindsay knew that. He was going to be part of that team because he shined.
The 25-year-old deputy recently returned to the county to put on the uniform focusing on tracking down illegal drugs.
Noel Ramirez, you know, there's lots of stories I could tell, some I probably shouldn't put on camera, but the smile, if you ever seen Sergeant Ramirez smile, infectious.
The smiling Ramirez was promoted to sergeant just about a year ago.
Yeah.
You can know someone your whole life and not really know them. But Sheriff Williams says that's certainly not the case with Sergeant Noel Ramirez and Deputy Taylor Lindsay.
They encourage me to be the best that I am. And what more can you ask? They're good family members. They're good friends. They was good deputy sheriffs. I don't think that you'll be hard pressed to find anybody say anything bad about them.
And back here live, again, when we talked to Sheriff Bobby Schultz earlier in the day, he didn't want to say anything about the shooting. The only thing he said in terms of John Hubert Highnote said he was a coward. Reporting live tonight in Trenton, Florida, Nick Perot, First Coast News, on your side.
Nick, thank you. And after the shooting, President Trump offered his, quote, thoughts, prayers, and condolences with the families, friends, and colleagues of the 2 deputies, heroes who lost their lives in the line of duty today. And in a statement, Governor Rick Scott said he was heartbroken by the news, calling it, quote, true evil for anyone to hurt a law enforcement officer. And taking a look at data from the National Law Enforcement Officers Fund, which advocates for law enforcement safety, today's victims were the 2nd and 3rd law enforcement officers to die in the line of duty in Florida just this year. 1 officer is reported to have died in Georgia in 2018. Nationwide, they reported 128 officers were killed in 2017. That is down from 2016.